got a sore knee. Doesn't have it bandaged, but he's a tough kind of kid. He likes to play all the time, and even though he may be hurt, he's going to be out there giving it all he's got.
Jones inside to Weber and back out on the wing to Ripley.
Wisconsin talked to Steve Yoder before the game. They want to push it inside. There you see it go in, and Purdue. See Weber with the shot. Purdue's Gene Katie said, I got to stop Weber. Weber worries me. He's a big, strong kid inside. There you see him get the first hoop.
Plus, he's shooting 69% in Big Ten play. Now, Wisconsin opened up into a man-to-man. Now they've gone into a zone, a 2-3.
They're going to switch defenses, try to throw Purdue off. There's a shot by Lewis.
The miss and the tip-in.
That was McCants, 35 inside.
A sophomore out of Chicago Mount Carmel. Weber inside to Jones. And the top freshman in the league. He misses, and we have a blocking foul on Doug Lee.
Here's the action inside. Good camera angle here. You see the pass coming right to you. Jones had inside position. Lee comes over. Lee plays just like Heineman for Wisconsin. He's a tough kid. Tried to come over and help. There's a good look at Danny Jones. He's a freshman out of Rockford. Look at that, 6'6", 235. And I happened to check during warm-ups, Lauren.
Excuse me, John, this has been his bugaboo. He missed 2 free throws the other night in the last minute as Wisconsin missed 5 straight against the Illini. He is only now 2 for 8 from the line in Big Ten play.
This is just a freshman. Look across. He wears a size 17 shoe, so he's going to grow a lot more before his career's over at Wisconsin.
Good hustle by the Badgers, but off the hands of the freshman, and Purdue will have it at midcourt.
Mentioned in the open, Purdue's a solid team. Melvin McCants, just a sophomore, but a big burly center inside. They got Troy Lewis, a great outside shooter. Mitchell, who's a good, strong forward, a good shooter from the outside. Stevens is the point guard. He's their leader in assists. And then Doug Lee's just your hard-nosed kid, a tough player, and you combine all those players, it's a heck of a team.
McCants using his elbow, pushing off the foul on Purdue. Second turnover against the Boilermakers, and again that time defensively Wisconsin went into a man-to-man. They started man-to-man, then zone, and then back to man-to-man.
Just trying to confuse the offense a little bit, make them look for a couple seconds to see what kind of defense you're in, and then they've got to readjust with their offense.
Heineman on the wing. No good, and Jones was on somebody's back. He was on Mitchell's back. That is the first foul against Wisconsin.
Jones really adds a lot of strength inside. Purdue's a big, strong, physical team. Heineman had to fall away on that shot. And look at that action inside. Weber is big and strong. I think you're going to see some interesting rebounding battles today.
You were going to mention something about Danny Jones a moment ago, and you want to get back to that. But Purdue on the lob, but picked up by Lee to Mitchell, and he's got a 2-pointer. 4-2 Purdue.
Purdue's got that inside-outside. Lewis is Mr. Outside, and Mitchell's Mr. Inside. They like to work together on the same side of the floor.
Lob into Jones. Misses from underneath. But Ripley with it on the right side. Jones has the ball, batted away, but he is fouled. And that foul will go on junior Todd Mitchell, his first foul.
You can see Wisconsin has been able to push that ball inside, and that's how they'll create problems for Purdue. That'll be the first on Mitchell, but Steve Yoder mentioned before the game he likes to play an inside game. He tries to get those 3-point plays. He said, I can either get it by going inside to my big guy, hoping he gets fouled on the shot, or I can dump it outside across the 3-point line and have one of my shooters hit it from there. Shelton Smith leads the Big Ten in 3-point shots made, so he's the guy I like to see from the outside.
And after missing 3 in a row, Jones cans his first free throw of the day, and Purdue with the ball leading by 1. Now Wisconsin in a zone. Lee on the left side makes it. 6-3 Boilermakers.
Purdue's been a great shooting team. 54%, 54.9 from the field. They're averaging 87 points a game in the Big Ten.
Winning margin 15 a game in their 3 victories over Michigan State, Michigan, and Northwestern. Purdue looking like they're zoning into J.J. Weber. And McCants stayed right with him. And the missed shot picked up by Troy Lewis. Lewis fouled from behind by Heineman.
There's the matchup we talked about. Heineman on Lewis. Lewis got a step on him on that fast break. Heineman just couldn't catch up with him and fouled from behind.
Well, as we mentioned last week, and we'll probably mention throughout the year, anytime you go from behind, you have a good chance, even if you get the ball cleanly, that you're going to be charged with a foul.
And that time, Lewis had a pretty good drive. Purdue had a good scoring opportunity there, so they just get the ball out of bounds. He may have prevented a layup that time.
Wisconsin zoning on the inbound. Stevens. He's the key to this club. Gene Katie mentioned the start of the year, and he's had an outstanding season.
And he also leads the team in block shots. He's the point guard.
Lewis missing, and Ripley with the rebound. Fans thought that Lewis had pushed off, but he did not. Sheldon Smith running the action for the Badgers. Heineman with the lob into Weber. He beat McCants down low, but couldn't hang on to the ball, and a turnover against the Badgers. Their first.
Purdue knows that Wisconsin's trying to go inside, so they're fronting the big guys. And on the reverse of the ball, Wisconsin's pinning the defense out, and a high lob pass like that'll work. Wisconsin's done it 2 or 3 times. That one got away.
Wisconsin back in a man-to-man. They've alternated each time down against Purdue, either in a zone or a man-to-man. And we've got an offensive foul on Lewis. That is the 4th team foul.
See, Lewis doesn't really like that call, but Steve Yoder said basketball is just a game of momentum. Whichever team has the momentum is gonna control the game. And right now, it looks like it's leaning to Wisconsin, although Purdue has a 3-point lead.
6-3, the Boilermakers. Weber can't get in. Mitchell and McCants on it. And Smith loses the ball as Wisconsin has turned the ball over twice in their last 2 possessions.
Yep, they've already got 47 turnovers in the Big Ten play to 27 for their opponents. So their big problem this year has been too many turnovers.
That happened against the Illini the other night. Mitchell. Lee on the wing. In the corner, they swing it back out. Mitchell in. And the ball batted away by Weber, but picked up by Lee inside to McCants. And the Boilers lead by 5. 8-3. Wisconsin with 1 basket, 1 free throw. Sheldon Smith. Ripley in the corner to Heineman.
Purdue stays in that man-to-man. They'll help out from the weak side, but stay in man-to-man.
Smith missing the 3-point attempt. Fans thought McCants had traveled with the ball, but Purdue brings it into the front court. On the right side, it's good. Lewis with his first basket, and it's a 10-3 ball game.
Lewis had not been shooting well in the pre-conference play, and I asked him before the game, he's at 58% in the 3 conference games. He said, I'm getting the same shots, but just seems in the Big Ten they're dropping. He is the Big Ten player of the week last week.
Lob down to Jones, and he puts it in. His 3rd point. 10-5 Purdue. They have the basketball.
Jones 6'6", 235. You can see how dangerous he is when he gets that ball low.
Stevens from the 3-point range, no good. Ripley kicks it out to Smith. Arnold getting ready to check in for Purdue. Ripley way out to Heineman. He's from Indiana. And we have a foul on Lewis, and that will be his 2nd. Heineman out of Connorsville, Indiana. He has a twin brother playing at Davidson.
Talked to him before the game. They were the state champs at Connorsville High 4 years ago, and we'll get back to that after the timeout.
14:34 to go in the first half. 10-5. Purdue leading Wisconsin, and we'll be back with more Big Ten basketball after these local messages. Madison, Wisconsin.
Here's a play. Purdue avoids a turnover. Melvin McCants is about to drag his foot, and he does a quick dribble there, besides doing the splits, and then the play goes down. Watch McCants on the rebound.
Pretty good for 6'10" and 225.
Yeah, he is a big kid. Look at that. See, that saved the turnover right there. Ted Hiller right on the play. But Heineman, talked to Heineman before the game. He wanted his mother to come up today, but she's feeling a little under the weather, and he wanted to say, get well soon, Mom. So a wish all the way to Connorsville.
Wisconsin with the ball, down by 5. Smith going against Jones, who's in the ball game for the Boilermakers. And we have a foul on the attempt by Jones, no relation, from Wisconsin, Danny Jones. You see Arnold in the ball game. The foul will be on Lee, his 2nd.
See, Purdue doesn't lack any size. Arnold 6'9", 230. Junior, he comes in. Kind of reminds me of Jim Rowinski. Remember, Purdue had him 4 or 5 years ago. Won the most valuable player in the league that year. But Purdue can come at you with some players.
And Tony Jones, a freshman out of Fort Wayne for the Boilermakers. And a rough day for Danny Jones. He is now 1 for 5 at the free throw line.
Looks like he's a little tentative up there. His form seems all right. Let's take a look here. Feet are spread a little more than normal. It's just confidence factor. You see, you miss one, you think, uh-oh, I'm going to miss another one, and that's kind of what he goes through. He just needs more chances in a game opportunity to improve that.
Stevens on the left side to Lee. A three-point attempt, no good. Heineman pushing off for the rebound off of Arnold. And that is Heineman's second foul.
That puts both Lewis and Heineman with 2 fouls. There's Steve Yoder, the Wisconsin bench.
Lee will inbound. Out to Tony Jones. 3 Joneses in uniform today. 2 for Purdue, 1 for Wisconsin. None are related. Stevens. Off the back iron, no good. And Jones of Wisconsin with the rebound. The Badgers with the ball, trailing by 4, 10-6. A little under 14 minutes to be played in the first half. And the ball batted away, taken by Mitchell, quickly to Tony Jones. And he throws it away, but Ripley got a piece of it, and it'll be Purdue's ball.
Yeah, Ripley prevented a fast break, easy 2 points that time as he knocked that ball away. Heineman lost the ball.
Ripley moving pretty good for 6'8" against the 6'3" man. Wisconsin in a zone on the inbound pass. They'll zone after Purdue makes a basket. Or after they make a basket, they'll go man-to-man on a missed shot. That's why they've been alternating throughout most of the first half. And we have a push-off or a violation, a 3-second violation on the Boilermakers. And that is their second turnover. Wisconsin has committed 3.
Neither team seems to be able to get that offense going like they'd want to. I think Purdue they're taking that 3-point shot. They just have not been able to hit it. And that's a big part of their offense.
J.J. Weber. Arno with the rebound, batted away by Heineman, but picked up on the left side. Cross court in the back court to Stevens. Wisconsin in a man-to-man. Same thing happened here the other night against Illinois. And I think it was because of the defenses. Mitchell missing. Wisconsin again with a chance to get within 2.
See, Wisconsin's a good rebounding team. Weber and Ripley are 2 pretty good forwards, size-wise, and then Jones is adequate in there at center. So they're going to battle some teams on the board.
Purdue doing a good job of keeping Wisconsin getting inside. Jones on the tip, no good. J.J. Weber with it. 10-8 ball game. Weber with 4 points.
Hear the crowd now come to life a little bit. They were bitterly disappointed Thursday. Now listen to them. They got Purdue right where they want them.
Purdue has lost only 1 game this year on a neutral court against North Carolina. Lee going to the baseline, and he gets the basket. Jones goes down, no foul.
Yeah, that's what you want your senior to do. You can hear the crowd going. He takes it upon himself to get a hoop, and now you can see how quiet, or hear how quiet it is here.
Ripley, 3-point range. No good. Wisconsin was devastating to the 3-point line the other night against the Illini. They were 6 for 9. Lee in the corner. Mitchell swinging it around. Everett Stevens back in the game. And inside to Mitchell. He has it. Mitchell out of Toledo, Ohio with 4, and a 6-point lead for the Boilermakers.
That time Purdue was able to pin down inside on the reverse of the ball, had a wide open layup.
Ripley. Heineman back to Ripley. Neither one of these clubs in Big Ten play have got a lot of scoring help off the bench. Inside to Jones on a 10-foot run. He's got 6 of the Wisconsin 10 points. 14-10. Purdue with the lead in the ball. Now this time they've gone into man-to-man after a made basket. Lee from outside. 2-pointer.
Yeah, 2 big baskets for Lee as Wisconsin keeps trying to inch back into the game, and Lee, the senior, comes through for Purdue.
Weber trying to get loose down low, but Jones takes the shot, and we have a foul. I believe it'll be on Arnold. pushing off, going for the loose ball. When Jones got the ball, Weber was ready to break, John, underneath from Arnold, but he took the shot, and McCants coming back in, Lewis coming back in.
There you see Heineman on the bench. He's an early substitution, although he does have 2 fouls. That knee must be bothering him a little bit, Lauren.
And Lee was charged with that foul, not Arnold. So that is the 3rd foul on Lee. Purdue's Gene Cady upset on the call, and Weber goes to the line as Wisconsin, with 10:38 to go, is in the 1-and-1. And Weber makes it. Weber with 5 points.
Gene Cady called Phil Robinson over to talk about the play. It's been a very physical game, but both teams have big physical players. You got to expect that.
And we have a timeout. 10:38 to be played in the first half. Purdue 16, Wisconsin 12. We'll be back with more first half action after this on the Big Ten Television Network.
Side play. Watch Danny Jones, 50. He just really got Arnold out of the play, although Lee was able to hit the basket, so that's why the Purdue bench was up a minute ago.
Yeah, there wasn't called down at the other end, then Lee got a subsequent foul down here. All right, Kip Jones is in the ball game for Purdue, along with Tony Jones, Melvin McCants, Stevens, and Lewis. For Wisconsin, Sean Fleming has checked in. For Mike Heineman, it'll be Jones, Ripley, and Weber, along with Smith and Sean Fleming. For the Badgers, 16-12, Purdue by 4.
See now Weber or Rod Ripley is on Troy Lewis now.
McCants, Stevens, overshot the mark. Jones with it, falls, and it goes out of bounds. He couldn't hang on to it as he lost his balance, and Purdue will get it under their own basket.
See that when you're in the air, any kind of slight bump, it can throw your feet right out from under you. We've seen that 2 or 3 times today already.
Purdue, 4 of their starting 5 have scored today. Only 2 players for Wisconsin have scored. Weber and Jones with 6 apiece. Tony Jones to Lewis, back to Lewis inside. This is Kip Jones, 2-time. Fans thought he was using his elbows. No call. Lewis, 3-point range. No good. We haven't had a 3-pointer made today by either club, as Sean Fleming, a freshman out of Oakland, California, in the ball game, working on Tony Jones, a freshman from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Ripley comes out to get a little help. Sheldon Smith guarded by Stevens. Inside, Danny Jones, turnaround 10-footer, good. He's got 8 points.
That's the way Wisconsin's offense has to work. They keep that ball low inside for turnaround shots, and Jones has played a whale of first half.
A little deft ball handling by Kip Jones. They thought he had traveled, but he had not moved his feet. He was just spinning that ball around his hands and got the pass off. Stevens to Tony Jones to Kip Jones. Lewis working on Ripley, gets around him. Weber helps out, blocks the shot attempt. Good defense by the Badgers, who have an opportunity to tie.
Wisconsin knows they've got to stop Lewis, and with Heineman out of the ball game, Ripley needs help.
Weber underneath, but no, a foul on Weber as he pushed McCants out of bounds. And on J.J. Weber, that is his first foul.
Here's a shot from underneath the basket. Watch McCants right there. And he's going to be forced out of bounds, although Weber comes up with that rebound. It goes the other way now to Purdue.
4th foul on the Badgers.
Could see those fouls really come into play, Lauren, with the physical play inside. Come the second half, some of these guys may be gone.
Kip Jones on the wing inside. The McCants batted away. Ripley with it. And again, the Badgers have an opportunity to tie. They've had only 1 lead. That was 2-0. Sheldon Smith, left side to Fleming. And he makes his first Big Ten basket. As we have a tie, 6 straight points for the Badgers with 8:27 to be played.
Well, here's that momentum again. You can hear it from the crowd.
Man-to-man by Wisconsin. Mitchell down to Kip Jones. Jones. No, but we have a foul. It's going to be on Danny Jones, the freshman's 2nd foul.
That's a tough foul because you don't have to block every shot, but if you can force a guy to change a shot, this is kind of a running hook shot, not a good percentage shot by Jones, is what the defense wants to force. But then you foul the guy and put him at the line, and that's how coaches get gray hair. Steve Yoder's got a few.
Kip Jones at the line. He's 2 for 4 from the free throw line in Big Ten play, and we're going to get a substitution for the Badgers as Kurt Portman, a freshman out of Sheboygan. They're hoping for big things from him. He's not a real physical player at 6'11", 215, more of a finesse player.
He was Mr. Basketball here in Wisconsin last year, and he and Jones have seen a lot of playing time for Wisconsin.
Kip Jones, as you noticed, out of Decatur, Indiana, 6'8" sophomore, makes it, and that breaks the tie with 8:12 to be played in the first half. 17-16 Boilers leading the Badgers. Purdue has won 18 straight over Wisconsin.
Smith has been quiet for Wisconsin outside, but the scoring's been done inside. There we go again.
And Purdue trails for only the second time since it was 2-0 as Weber with 8. Troy Lewis. McCants playing high, gets it to Kip Jones on the wing, to Mitchell. Inside, McCants all alone.
Wisconsin got caught just running out of players. Each guy was moving up off his man. He left the guy wide open underneath.
Melvin McCants with 16 as Purdue leads by a point. Rod Ripley. Boy, J.J. Weber really has a nice touch. I wanted to mention earlier, John, for a big man. There it is. Great rotation.
Sure does, and you can see why Gene Cady knew that they had to stop Weber. He can get that ball low and just take that turnaround shot.
Well, his career high was 25 a year ago against Purdue here in a 2-point loss. He's got 10 today. Mitchell, shot rejected by Weber, but picked right back up by Purdue. Mitchell from outside, no good. And Sean Fleming with the rebound.
You see how that big defensive play really gets the crowd behind you. Wisconsin already now with a 1-point lead. Smith nearly loses it.
Smith inside, batted away, but Portman picks it up. And they set up with Fleming. Inside to Weber, working on McCants. Shot short, out of bounds, Purdue's ball. Weber complaining he thought he had been fouled as Steve Yoder indicates that he thought he had been fouled on the shot. And as you see, Jeff Arnold coming back in the ballgame for the Boilermakers. We have a timeout. 6:27 to be played first half. Wisconsin by 1. Big Ten basketball continues after these messages from your local station.
A.J. Weber goes high to block this layup. Just good timing there. See, Mitchell had to drive right in between 3 Wisconsin players. No body contact. That's the way to block the shot. Purdue was able to come up with it, but missed the shot again. Missed their second shot, so it went the other way. Purdue out of bounds now.
Mike Heineman back in the ball game for Wisconsin. He'll be in guard with Fleming as Sheldon Smith is out, and Purdue with the ball. Lewis and Stevens at the guard. Tony Jones stays in, so they've got a 3-guard offense right now, along with Mitchell and Arnold. Stevens into Arnold. Nice pass to Mitchell. Offensive foul. No basket. And Gene Cady is furious.
Now here's how important Heineman is. He's in the game for 5 seconds and already has created some opportunity for Wisconsin. The decision there was that Heineman was in position before Mitchell left his feet. You don't have to give him any room like you used to. You don't need to give him a step. If you're set there before he leaves his feet, that call's going to go to the defense, and that time it did.
Bob Hortman, the head of the Big Ten officials, said your torso's in front. There you've got the block. Missed shot. Purdue gets it back. Lewis was open, but nobody saw him as they couldn't control the ball. But to Mitchell, ball batted away, and J.J. Weber has it for Wisconsin.
Purdue just seems a little uneven on offense. They really haven't gotten the flow of their offense. Kind of a shot here and a shot there. Not anywhere near their 87 points a game with just 19 points here in the first half.
Fleming with the ball. Into Heineman in a lot of traffic. He got smacked in the face. Wisconsin has the ball. Heineman's hurt.
The officials called a timeout there. He might have caught an elbow. He's down on one knee right now at half court. Oh, what a tough kid. You saw him come out of the ball game. Obviously the knee's hurting him. And he comes right back in, creates a good play. Look at the field goal shooting. Just not good at all for either team. Purdue under 40%.
And these are two teams that are shooting 54% or better in Big Ten play.
Not much better, but probably ought to give credit to the defense on both teams because neither teams have been able to run the offense that they want.
Heineman into Portman. He got Mitchell up, but he couldn't take advantage. It misses. Ripley misses. And a battle for it on the floor. Jump ball. It'll be Wisconsin's ball on the alternating possession rule.
This is Big Ten basketball right here. You got two big physical teams, and the ball's on the floor. You got guys diving for it. The real battle today has been on the boards. It's whichever team seems to be controlling those boards has had the advantage.
Melvin McCants back in the ball game. Jeff Arnold takes a seat for Purdue. We've been at this 20-19 mark now for almost 2 minutes. Wisconsin by 1. Inside to Weber. Makes a move on the and makes it. JJ with 12 points.
Now remember the last time he got on the baseline, McCants forced him to shoot that fadeaway jump shot, and he barely got to the rim. This time McCants was off a little farther, and Weber was able to jump toward the basket for that shot.
Out of bounds, Purdue's ball. So Purdue, with their biggest lead at 7, trails by 3. Conversely, Wisconsin's biggest lead of the afternoon as Arnold will check back in.
See, even though in the Illinois game, Wisconsin lost, it really built their confidence because they knew Illinois has a good team. Obviously, Ken Norman, a good player, and they really played him well for most of the game. Just a couple bad breaks at the end, they lost. So they convinced themselves that they can play against some of the Big Ten's better teams, and they're doing it right now in the first half.
And they played well against Iowa in Iowa City. Stevens, left side to Tony Jones. Wisconsin in the zone. Swing it back out. Stevens, three-point attempt, makes it. That is the first three-point play of the day.
Well, that's a big play. Now Purdue's even. Stevens comes in from the outside. It really gives Purdue a lift.
Tied with 4 deuces. Heineman, a three-pointer, short. Jones threw it behind the back, almost stolen by Smith, but Tony Jones, who had originally thrown the bad pass, makes up for it by picking it up. Wisconsin in a man-to-man. Mitchell. Everett Stevens out of Evanston, Illinois. Inside, and the ball stolen. But off the hands of Wisconsin. Great effort by Rod Ripley and Heineman. I'll tell you, these are the kind of guys you like to go to work to the steel mill with. This is a luncheon bucket.
It is.
Basketball team.
It's been exciting to watch this game.
And we have a timeout. Our Budweiser scoreboard shows Wisconsin 22, Purdue 22. We'll return after this on the Big Ten Television Network. 22 with 3:54 to go here in the first half. Well, a lot of people thought Wisconsin losing such a tough game at home to Illinois, and as Steve Yoder said, thinks we'll go in the tank. He said this is not that kind of a ball club.
They'll really test the character of your club, and Purdue's have played awfully good all year long. Just one loss to North Carolina down the Christmas tournament. They just have not seemed to get their offense rolling today. The defense has been adequate, but Lewis has not had the game he had last week.
There's the lob, batted away by Portman, and he comes up with it. Wisconsin with the ball. Shelton Smith in the front court. Smith and Heineman at the guards. J.J. Weber, 2 people on him. Fighting for it. Gets it to Smith. They wanted the 5-second rule. Purdue, no motion to the basket, no movement. Smith, 3-point attempt. No good. He had a great 3-point night against the Illini. And a foul is called on Mitchell as he bumped Weber. That'll be the 7th turnover against Purdue.
There's the Purdue bench. You saw the whole bench up because they didn't get the 5-second call. Now watch Mitchell. And we got a close-up here. Weber's pressuring. He slaps for the ball. And right there, it looked to me like he knocked him out of there with that left arm. And Gene Katie comes right off the bench because he felt he should have got the 5-second call. And now this call goes against him to give the possession to Wisconsin.
Mitchell with 3 fouls out of the ball game here with only 3:20 to go in the first half, and Jeff Arnold in. Heineman looking inside. Wisconsin. Weber too hard. Rebound underneath. Heineman. He has it. His first basket.
See, he's 6'4", going in there, coming up with a big rebound. Gives Wisconsin the lead.
3 minutes to be played in the first half. Wisconsin playing Purdue tough. I don't think anybody expected anything different. Though there were some thought they might not play well after the Illini loss, as Arnold gets his first basket, and we are tied once again.
Now, better offense there, where they waited for the defense to make a mistake, went right inside for layup. That's the kind of offense Purdue wants to run.
Smith fouled by Tony Jones.
Foul is on number 25, Tony Jones.
Wisconsin, he was fouled before the shot. It'll be a 1-and-1. Wisconsin's been at the line on the 1-and-1 once and made both. They went in to the 1-and-1 at 10:38 left to be played. This is the only second time Wisconsin players are claiming he was in the act of shooting when fouled. Richie Weiler says no.
On the drive, so it goes as a 1-and-1.
And he makes it.
Excellent free throw shooter. He's 86% in the Big Ten.
Yeah, he's 14 out of 16 now.
He's the best Badger to be at the line.
Badgers
Missed
by 1.
last year with some academic problems out of Cathedral High School in Indianapolis.
His last game was against Purdue last year, and he scored a career 25 high in that game.
I think he knew it'd be his last time, and he wanted to go out in style, and then he missed the whole second half, the second semester, almost all the Big Ten season.
Wisconsin now 4 for 4 at the line in 1-and-1 situation, something they couldn't do the other night against the Illini. Lewis, 3-point play, and Purdue leads by 1.
He's just a great shooter. You can see why he was a co-Mr. Basketball in Indiana as a high school senior. And he's just shooting the ball better. His mother's here today. Went up for the trip to Northwestern. Came on over to Wisconsin. She tries to follow Troy Rip.
3-point attempt by Smith is short. Lewis. For Stevens. He's fouled underneath by Weber. That'll be the second foul on Weber. Purdue has made 2 3-pointers. Wisconsin has not made a one as Sean Fleming checks back in. John?
Kind of gathering things together now, Lauren, just before the half. 2 minutes to go. There you see Gene Katie. He likes the way they're playing. A little better on defense. You saw a fast break opportunity there. That's more the way Purdue wants to play. But up until this first 18 minutes, it hasn't been the Purdue team that Coach Katie has seen for this year.
Purdue by 1. Stevens misses on his first attempt. It's 12 out of 20 now from the free throw line in Big Ten play.
He's come on pretty well at that point guard. Matt Gaddis did the job for Purdue last year, and they need Stevens to come in. Hear the hand for Weber as he leaves the ball game.
Yeah, they don't want him to pick up that third foul.
Tom Malosky into the ball game for the Badgers.
And his career highs against Purdue is 17. He has not played in the last 2 Big Ten games. Stevens missed them both, and Purdue comes away with it. And a jump ball shot block. It'll be Purdue's ball on the alternating possession rule.
Looks like Portman got off balance here. Lewis sneaks right in from behind. And now watch the defense. Boy, he gets sandwiched right in between 2 players. And they call a jump ball.
Stevens out high. Lewis parted by Pulaski. Into Arnold, back out to Lewis. 3-point attempt. He makes it. In the last 3 minutes, Purdue has made 3 3-point plays, and they now lead 30 to 26.
You can see how it is a big part of their offense, and now when those shots go in, that lead expands.
Inside to Portman. Got it. Looked like he wanted to pass off, John, and then had nowhere to go and put it up and in.
When in doubt, take that shot. And it's tough being a freshman, but he and Jones have played a lot for Wisconsin and should have excellent careers here.
Stevens getting a little bit of a screen by Arnold. Loses it, but still got open enough to take the 3-pointer. 33-28. 5-point lead for the Boilermakers. Clock is in the red. Less than a minute to go.
When Purdue's able to hit that outside shot, that'll open the inside as you pull the defense out. Now they go inside to Mitchell and McCann.
A foul charged on Tony Jones, so Portman will go to the line with the 1-and-1. Portman, 500 free throw shooter, 3 for 6 in Big Ten play. And that is the second foul on Tony Jones. With 4:34 to be played in the first half, Purdue made their first 3-point play. They have made 3 since, so 4 in about 3.5 minutes time as the free throw's no good. They had made 4 out of 4 with the 1-and-1, but miss on that, and Purdue can wind it down. They cannot end the half without having to utilize that shot clock, which is at 38 to go in the half. Yelling, get it inside to Jeff. With Gene Cady, Stevens out high. And Fisher's in the ball game for the Boilermakers. They're looking up at the game clock, and Cady yelling, look at the shot clock. There's an 8-second difference. The shot clock now with 10 seconds. Tony Jones, and we've got a foul on Sean Fleming. And that will put Purdue in the bonus with 17 seconds.
A good offense that time by Purdue. The bench was up shouting instructions out there. They simply wanted to run some clock down, not give Wisconsin a lot of time to come down and score, although they will have 17 seconds. And now they've got senior Tim Fisher at the line.
Fisher has not been at the free throw line in Big Ten play. One of the co-captains, along with Doug Lee, and he makes it. 17 seconds. Purdue's biggest lead at 7, 10-3, and they could equal that here with a free throw made. And they do. And Purdue, pressure in the backcourt.
Take a little more time to bring it up.
10 seconds left. Fleming misses the layup. Purdue with the ball. Tony Jones. No. Taken away by Molaski. And that ends the first half as Purdue, down by 2, comes back to outscore Wisconsin 11-2 in the last 2 minutes and 5 seconds of the first half, and leads it here at halftime 35-28. We'll be back with halftime activities after this. Today's action, Northwestern tries to snap a 6-game losing streak, hosting the Illini, who are ranked 12th in the country. Number 2 Iowa is at Minnesota, both teams undefeated in Big Ten play, and in a game that features 2 clubs who have not won, one will today. Ohio State against Michigan State, both winless in Big Ten play. And coming up on Monday night from Ann Arbor, it'll be the Indiana Hoosiers, ranked 4th in the nation, taking on the University of Michigan. We'll be back after this. Purdue leading by 7 here at the University of Wisconsin as they outscored the Badgers 11-2 in the final 2 minutes and 5 seconds of play in the first half. And John, you look at our score sheet, great balanced scoring by Purdue, plus good help off the bench.
Well, that's what they like to do, and offensively they like to use that outside shot, and it just wouldn't fall until they made 4 there at the end. So expect Purdue to continue that outside shot. If Wisconsin brings the defense out, they'll try to dump the ball low, and I look for Wisconsin. They've had success when they've got the ball down in low to their big guys. Expect them to do that again.
All right, 8 points for Lewis, high for Purdue. 3 other fellows with 6. We'll be checking those later. And the high man for Wisconsin, J.J. Weber, with 12. We'll be back with more. 45, or rather 35%. Field goals for Purdue, 45%. Neither coach really happy with that, John, because they're both 54% shooting teams. The free throws, look at that, 6 of 11 for Wisconsin. That is hurt. And 500 for Purdue. That hasn't helped them. 3 out of 6. Turnovers, 7 for Purdue. Wisconsin's cut them down. But the Boilermakers with 5 more rebounds than the Badgers.
All right, excellent for Wisconsin, just 3 turnovers. Here's the leading scorers for Wisconsin. Weber has 12, had 7 rebounds. He's played an excellent half. Jones with 8. And for Purdue, Lewis has 8, Stevens has 6, and those all came right at the end of the first half.
And McCants has 6. For Purdue, they've gotten 7 points from their bench. Wisconsin has picked up 4 points from their bench. And now this word from Piedmont Airlines.
And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Back at the Wisconsin Fieldhouse, where they held their 5th annual alumni game. Prior to this ball game, some former Wisconsin players came and played. Bill Pearson, back from 76 to 78, had 21 points. Bruce McCauley had 23. He played in 74, 75. But I thought the most interesting guy was Bobby Cook. It was 40 years ago. Wisconsin last won the Big Ten championship, 1947, with a 9-3 record. Bobby Cook was here. He's 62 years old. He was the 1947 Big Ten scoring champion, and he hit 6 points on 3 running one-handers. So he did a great job, and it's a good thing to see the Wisconsin alumni getting back together. I think, again, the key here in the second half, Wisconsin has got to be scrappy in order to get back into this ball game. They're not the kind of team that is going to overpower Purdue, but they've done a good job of getting the ball inside. They've got to get their shooting percentage back up, and if Smith could hit some shots from the outside, that might open the inside barrier. There's a look at the Purdue team. As I mentioned, I think that's an excellent fivesome right there. Look at Mitchell, how strong he is across the shoulders there. McCants is coming on strong as a center, although he's only a sophomore. Lewis has started to hit again from the outside. Doug Lee, he's just your hustler inside. There's the Wisconsin bench. And then Everett Stevens has really been the key. He's come on to do a good job in the assist department. And he's hit a couple from the outside also. We're ready now for second half action. Wisconsin with the ball out of bounds. Heineman guarded by Stevens. Trying to go inside. First 50, Danny Jones had an excellent first half till he got in foul trouble. Ripley, Wisconsin patient on offense now. Plenty of time on the 45-second shot clock. And here's a whistle inside. Push off against Purdue. And that'll go against Stevens. Trying to stay with Heineman inside, out of bounds to Wisconsin.
Thank you, John. I'll tell you, 9,000 here, but I think they're all in the lobby at once. Weber out high. Inside to Jones, and he misses the bunny.
See, Wisconsin's been able to get the ball inside. They just have not been able to get those shots to fall.
Well, you can tell by that shot chart we had at halftime, that is their game. Doug Lee with the ball on the left wing. Purdue playing in front of their coaches, as will Wisconsin at their end. Everett Stevens looking inside for Mitchell. You have to get it back out to Lee. No good. Heineman with the rebound.
A little better pattern offense that time by Purdue. Lee just happened to miss that shot, but looks like Gene Katie's used that halftime to kind of calm his team down. Let's see how they play here in the second half.
Danny Jones way out high. Weber's the only man low, and Ripley coming to the baseline. Jones inside to Weber, and he makes it. 14 points.
Right at his average of 13-3, but 6'7", 240. He's the biggest player strength-wise for Wisconsin. You can see they like to use him inside. That's why Gene Katie was a little concerned about Weber.
Stevens to Doug Lee. Melvin McCants. No.
I think you can start to feel that momentum change here a little bit. If Wisconsin can score here, that would cut it down to 3 points.
Ripley cross court to Smith. Inside to Heineman. Gets it back out. Ripley open. Overshot the mark. Battle for the loose ball. Saved by Jones, but into the hands of Lee. Purdue fast breaking in the front court. Now they hold it up. Wide open is Troy Lewis. And Purdue not shooting well here in the second half.
He's usually going to make that shot. That's Purdue's game. A quick, fast break. If you can't get the layup, let's take a good shot. And they've been scoring 87 a game, so they've been blowing people out. But just today, they have not hit that outside shot. 2.5
minutes have gone by. We've had but one basket in the second half. Weber missing. Troy Lewis with it. Into Mitchell. Youngster out of Toledo, Ohio. Out to Stevens. 35-30, Purdue, 5-point lead in the basketball. trying to remain unbeaten in Big Ten play. Wisconsin trying to win their first conference game. Snap an 18-game losing streak against the Boilermakers. But Mitchell with the basket. And Mitchell with his 6th point. Mitchell and Lee are playing, by the way, John, with 3 fouls. Nobody with 3 for Wisconsin.
See, the reason Purdue is so tough is you just can't stop one guy, because all 5 players out there are scoring threats. You can't double team somebody. You leave somebody else open.
Ripley to Smith, almost thrown away. Inside to J.J. Weber. And he is fouled, and it will be on Melvin McCants. And the sophomore out of Chicago picks up his 2nd. Well, you look at that shooting for Purdue, John. Big Ten play. Mitchell better than 60%. McCants 60%. Lewis 48. Stevens 48. But then you look at Wisconsin. You've got Ripley at 64. Weber at 69. Jones at 65. And Heineman at 62.
Well, you can't really tell that one team's 3-0 and the other one's 0-3 from looking at that stat. Although Wisconsin's lost a couple close games.
Got 2 at the buzzer.
But Weber's really improved. He a strong player now, one of the co-captains, or tri-captains, really. There's 3 of them.
Well, you know, they had an old-timers game here before the game with Wisconsin. He reminds me, though he's not as big. Well, maybe so. Looks like Joe lost weight, but remember Joe Chilenick that played here at Wisconsin,
right.
A real workhorse. Smith is out, and in for the first time for the Badgers is Tapp. Rodney Tapp, a junior college transfer from Laramie Junior College in Wyoming, and 16 points for Weber. He's got a career high 25 the last time he played against Purdue here in a 2-point Purdue win a year ago at Madison. Stevens, nice move, but misses. Heineman knocks it out of bounds, and Purdue thought he was all over one of their players back. But the call and out of bounds play.
Heineman comes all the way from his guard position to help out on the boards if he can. Came from behind just to knock that away.
Does his hustle remind you a little bit of Jerry Sloan?
Oh, exactly.
John played with Jerry with the Bulls at one time after graduating magna cum laude out of Indiana. Mitchell missing. Danny Jones with the rebound.
Well, I like Jones. He takes up a lot of space inside. He's getting a lot of good experience here early in his career.
He might wind up the top freshman in the league. Weber missing. Tipped by Jones. No. Underneath. Ripley to Weber. No. And Arnold comes away with it.
Boy, Wisconsin just couldn't get that one to drop. You could hear the emotion of the crowd ready to explode. And Purdue's able to come away with it.
Doug Lee. Jeff Arnold through the hands of Stevens. And a timeout. 15:31 left to be played in the ball game. Purdue 37, Wisconsin 32. We'll be back with more on the Big Ten Television Network.
Inside. Now, this is the kind of opportunity Wisconsin's got to get to fall if they expect to win this ball game. There's one chance, 2 missed there. Ripley comes up with it. He's going to go outside to Weber, and they're going to miss that shot. So you just can't let those opportunities go by. Purdue's able to come away with it.
Ripley on the inbound to Heineman in the backcourt. A little pressure applied by Everett Stevens. Heineman with a bad knee, playing awfully well.
I watched him in warm-ups, Lauren, and he limped, and he could barely get back to the layup line. And you saw him out there down low, moving that knee. He's got to be hurting him. He had to take himself out in the first half a little bit, and he's right back in the ball game.
Arnold got a piece of the ball out of bounds. Wisconsin maintains possession. Into Weber. Heineman. Right side. Tap out to Weber. Ripley. 13 seconds on the shot clock.
Pretty good defense here by Purdue. Wisconsin's a little rattled here by it. Can't really get the offense going.
5 seconds on the shot clock. Weber with the turnaround. No. Loose ball. And coming away with it is Mitchell, and we have a foul. And I believe it's going to be on Heineman, and if it is, it'll be number 3 on the senior guard.
Big rebound that time by Purdue. Jones almost kept that ball alive. Good look at the 2 benches before Gene Cady. That's Steve Yoder.
Quite a contrast in these 2 clubs. Wisconsin playing 3 seniors. a junior and a freshman in their starting lineup. Purdue with only one senior. He has the ball right now, but he gives it off to Arnold. That being Doug Lee. Ball batted away, but picked up by Mitchell. Both Ripley and Weber were on it. Switching off and helping out. Lee with a three-point shot. No good. Stevens right into his hands, didn't have to move.
The other thing about that three-point attempt, Lauren, is usually you can get a long rebound on that. There you saw Purdue. They get
right in the hands of Heineman, an air ball. And Wisconsin again with a chance to get within 3. Not a lot of scoring here in the second half. We've played 6 minutes, and only 6 points total have been scored. And we have a timeout, Wisconsin. 14:05 to be played in the ball game. And we'll be back with Big Ten basketball after these messages. Our second half Budweiser scoreboard showing Purdue with a 5-point lead over Wisconsin, 37-32. We have 14:05 left to be played on our Budweiser scoreboard. There has been no scoring in the last 2.5 minutes by either club. Wisconsin with 4 points, Purdue with 2 here in the second half in 6 minutes of play.
Well, this will be a real test for Purdue now.
Heineman on the drive, and he is fouled. Arnold got him.
That block call again, but Purdue's got a test for them, Lauren. They're not playing as well as they have in today's ball game, but the real sign of a good team is to be able to pull out a game. Look at the coach, Gene Cady. He knows his team's not playing well. A good team knows it's playing bad, but will still make the plays that they have to win the ball game. And this Wisconsin team is scrappy. I saw them last year here beat a good Iowa team that was much quicker, had a little more talent, and they were able to beat them. And this is a team that can give you trouble. Purdue has got to go down inside and just suck it up and come out here and play and come away with a victory. It may not be a pretty one, but they need this win to stay on top of the Big Ten.
3-point ball game now. Heineman with 4 points. Purdue with the ball in the margin. Doug Lee looking inside, gets it down to Arnold, turns around on Weber. Nice shot by Arnold. 4 points. 39-34. Purdue by 5. Weber 2-time, and they take it away from him as help by young Tony Jones came over to lead. Missed the bunny. And it'll be out of bounds. Purdue's ball. Well, they were 2-timing Weber, and the freshman Tony Jones from Fort Wayne came over and gave great help. Picked his pocket. Lee subsequently missing the layup. But they maintained possession, meaning Purdue. On the right side, Stevens missing, or Lewis rather. Wisconsin with the ball. Danny Jones in and out, a little too hard. Lewis with the carom.
Boy, either team, if they can shoot a little better percentage, could really make a move. They're just both having trouble.
You got to credit it to 2 things. It's not just one thing. There's been good defense, but still they've missed some easy shots.
Right. Well, it's physical play. I think guy gets bumped just a little bit, enough to throw him off.
Lewis out to Tony Jones. Arnold. No, Ripley with the rebound.
Yeah, that time he leaned away a little bit too. When you take that turnaround shot, if you can lean toward the basket, you're going to make a better percentage.
Rod Ripley. Ripley has not scored today. Inside to Weber, and he has it taken away by Arnold. Somebody, I think, tipped it down there, and Purdue with it. Well, you've got to be conscious defensively to look for J.J. Weber down low, and Purdue has been the last couple of times with a steal and a block.
See, with Purdue not shooting that good percentage, they really got to look low. Here's Arnold again, but he dishes out.
And a nice cut off the left wing.
That's a good assist. You know, when you get that ball in that painted area right there, that dotted line, there's so many different things you can do. Arnold has not been able to hit that shot, so he wisely dumps it out to a better shooter, and Lewis. Purdue gets 2.
Lewis with 10 points. 7-point lead. Again, matching the biggest lead for the Boilermakers. Heineman on the drive. A one-hander. Boy, that looked like 1935 basketball on that drive. He got the job done.
Yeah, off balance, but able to get that one to fall.
The guys used to, that was a jump shot in those days. Go off one leg and one knee up high and put it in. And we have a foul on tap of Wisconsin. That'll be his first foul. Melvin McCants back in. The announcers for this telecast have been selected by Rasmussen Communications Management and approved by the Big Ten Conference. Lee, nice pass inside to McCants, but he misses. Forced it. Heineman quickly into the front court for the Badgers. Ripley, three-point play, short. Wisconsin 0 for 6 for three-point attempts. Tony Jones, and we're going to get a blocking on Heineman, and Steve Yoder is upset as Heineman picks up his fourth.
I think you're going to see this call quite a bit this year, be a controversial one always. Jones goes to his left. See, Heineman did not have his right foot down when the contact was made, so that's a good call. He did not have the position, although everyone here in Wisconsin wanted him to be there.
And remember, that you just saw in slow motion.
That's
so
right.
Figure where he was.
That's right.
In regular speed.
It's easy for us to see it on the replay. Those officials have to call it right away.
Lee inside and off the hands of Kip Jones, who's back in the ballgame for Purdue.
And now's when Wisconsin's got to make their run. 11 minutes to go. They're down 5. They've got to start to get this game close and take a little lead. Now, you just can't wait till the last 2 or 3 minutes. You've got to do it over a longer period of time. Now's the time they need to start.
Knapp gets it out to Heineman. Jones. Heineman almost loses control. Gets it out to Weber. A lot of time on the shot clock. Inside, Weber. Boy, he moves without the ball well. Back out to Ripley. Cross court. Tap, shot rejected, gets it back inside, batted away. It'll be Purdue's ball.
Good defensive pressure there. Steve Yoder upset with that turnover, but Purdue was in the places they needed to be, would not let that ball go inside, and they capitalized with a turnover.
Heineman with 4 fouls comes out with 10:39 to be played. Shelton Smith back in at guard.
See if Purdue starts to go inside a little more with that not shooting well from the outside.
Tony
Lewis is probably free to shoot whenever he can. Let's see otherwise, though, if they go inside.
Tony Jones getting a lot of playing time today for Purdue. Melvin McCants walked with the ball. 10 turnovers for Purdue. Wisconsin, who had been committing almost 7 turnovers more per game against their opposition this year in Big Ten play, is committed but 5.
That's excellent because it gives them more shots at the hoop.
Tap into Weber. He got pushed down, or is it going to be on Weber pushing off? It's going to be on Danny Jones pushing off, or they're pointing to him because he's injured himself. Now, what is the call?
Well,
somebody was pushing off
here, unless they called. Oh, it's called an injury timeout. Ted Hillary's over now explaining to Gene Katie, stop play because of the injury, because Jones was limping. So there was no foul there.
No foul.
And then the team with possession will get the ball out of bounds.
Ryan Burning, or rather, let's see, we've got Kip Jones coming out, Tony Jones coming out. And Purdue with their original starting 5 in the ball game right now as the ball's batted away in the hands of Tapp. So McCants in the middle with Mitchell Lee, Todd Mitchell, and Doug Lee on the wings. And the guards, Troy Lewis and Everett Stevens. Ripley on the right wing. They lob it down to Jones. They got help underneath, and Lewis lost it. McCants fronted him, and Lewis came from behind to help out.
Remember, early in the game, Wisconsin got that play. Purdue has shut it off, and that time they got Lewis to help from the weak side. Good defense, but he just kicked it out of bounds.
10:03 left to be played in the ball game. Purdue with a 5-point lead. Not a lot of scoring here in the half. And Ripley gets his first basket of the afternoon. And it gets Wisconsin back within 3. Lee can't go on Danny Jones. Gets it out to Lewis. Mitchell getting around Ripley and blocked by Weber.
Well, Wisconsin's really come up with some block shots here. Although they're not that big a team inside. They're a strong team.
They're on their feet here, John. 9,000 plus.
They're getting ready now. A 3-point deficit. They're just anticipating another basket so they can back their team.
Inside to Weber. See 3 people around him. And it's kicked out. Rod Ripley controls it. To Smith. Tap. Open. Got it. Tapp with his first basket in Big Ten play.
Jones with a big play there. He couldn't get the rebound. He kept it alive way outside to Ripley, and the crowd's coming alive.
In fact, this is Tapp's first Big Ten game. He did not play against Minnesota, Iowa, or Illinois.
See how the defense is a little more intensive now after you find yourself closer in the game. Now a big rebound.
McCants missed an easy 5-footer. Lee missed the bunny tap in, and Weber with the rebound again. And Wisconsin with a chance to take the lead, and it's stolen right back. We've got a 5-on-3 inside, and Wisconsin couldn't take advantage of it as Purdue knocks it away.
Boy, both teams had big chances there. Lee tried to throw that behind-the-back pass, not seeing the Wisconsin defender. Smith was able to come up with the steal. Timeout now.
8:26 to go. We have ourselves a one-point ball game in Madison, Wisconsin. You're watching Big Ten basketball on the Big Ten Television Network. Edgewater, downtown, on the lake, at the campus. The Edgewater, Madison, Wisconsin. The telecast of today's game is authorized by the Big Ten Conference, intended solely for the private use of our viewing audience. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of the accounts and description of this game without the express written consent of the Big Ten Conference is strictly prohibited. Well, we've got a good one here. 8:26 to go. Purdue leading by 1, 41-40. Troy Lewis, who is the Big Ten Player of the Week last week, leading Purdue with 10 points. J.J. Weber with 16 for Wisconsin.
Purdue just 35% now for the game, but Wisconsin 31%. So a low-scoring game because of that field goal percentage.
Weber, Smith, Portman, Tapp, along with Ripley in the ball game for Wisconsin. Shelton Smith running the attack.
Wisconsin still on their game plan. They want to go inside.
Inside to Portman, overthrown, but picked up underneath by Smith to Portman. He got it.
Well, that was a tough shot. He was falling away. Might have got a little lucky on that one, but it counts.
And Wisconsin with a one-point lead. Inside Portman, but he held before he got out in front of Todd Mitchell. His first foul.
Now there's Purdue going inside, and I think that's smart with Mitchell inside. McCants is out right now. They got Arnold in there. It's a little bit better percentage shot, especially on a day when you're not shooting good.
And a great effort by the freshman Portman, 6'11" out of Sheboygan. Mr. Basketball in Wisconsin a year ago, diving for that loose ball, but Purdue hasn't. Wisconsin in a man-to-man.
See the defense force the action a little farther out. Purdue doesn't like to run the offense quite that far away, but here's a foul.
And it's going to be on Tapp. That will be his second. 5th team foul now on Wisconsin. 3 against Purdue in the second half.
A little over-aggressive, but when you're back in the ball game, you're going to do this. You're going to play close. You just got caught there. Stevens did the right thing by making that move.
Lee on the inbound. Out to Stevens. 7.5 minutes to be played in this ball game. Purdue has lost only one game this year on a neutral court against North Carolina. Lee, nice shot from outside. He's got 8 points out of Washington, Illinois. 43-42.
That gives them a 1-point lead. Kind of quiets the crowd a little bit, but as I mentioned, this is going to be a real test for them.
First time Purdue has scored in 4.5 minutes. Last basket was at 12:05. Tapp out to Weber, looking inside to Portman. Didn't throw it hard enough, and taking it away was Mitchell, but Tapp comes right back with a steal against Stevens.
Well, Tapp is very quick in there. He's able to come up with those loose balls.
Tapp is from Evansville, Indiana. Went to Laramie, Wyoming Junior College, and the block by Stevens.
You can see why
Shelton Smith.
Stevens leads that team in block shots. There you can see why.
Lewis went too far underneath. Well, I'll tell you, Purdue on a couple of steals, letting Wisconsin come right back at it.
Neither team's been able to take control of the game. That's why it's close.
Oh, that time Weber, but he misses. Just took the ball out of Arnold's hands as they lobbed it into Arnold's hands.
See, each team has had opportunities, but neither one's been able to capitalize, especially these last 2 or 3 times down the floor. You see now Purdue, they want to try to slow it down, see if they try to go inside for that high percentage shot. Now, that's what they need to do.
Arnold. Right side, Lewis draws the 5-footer up and in, and he's got 12.
And that's the guy you want to take the shot. He makes a one-on-one move right down to the baseline. Good leadership on that play.
Heineman and Danny Jones getting ready to check back in for Wisconsin. They certainly need Heineman's leadership. The basket is good by Shelton Smith. His first basket of the day, if you could believe it.
Now, Smith has not done the job of creating offense for Wisconsin, either on his own part or by setting his teammates up. That's the first time he's made an offensive move.
He came into this ball game averaging 17 a game in Big Ten play, and we have a traveling violation against the Boilermakers, their 14th turnover of today's game. And Heineman back in. Tapp and Portman go out. Danny Jones also comes in.
See, there's Gene Cady, a little concerned because Wisconsin has used 2 subs. Now they got Heineman and Jones, their front liners, back in there, yet they're still only down by a point, so they were able to rest 2 of their players, and now they're back strong. Look at the Wisconsin bench. Those players are standing up, ready to root their team on.
Original starting lineup in for the Badgers. Danny Jones short from the baseline. Jeff Arnold with it for Purdue.
That's not a good shot because he was leaning away from the basket that time. Of course, just in a ball game, you may want to run up and down the floor a few times before you take your first shot.
4:55 to go. And Purdue back up by 7 as Mitchell gets his 8th. Back up by 3, I should say.
I think that's what you're going to see. Purdue is going to go to Mitchell and Lewis now to try to lead them to this victory.
And Wisconsin wants a timeout as they trail by 3 with 4:43 left to be played in the ball game. More Big Ten basketball after these local messages.
Here's Smith creating that offense again. He's just got to do more of this. It's not too late yet. Still 4 minutes to go. He reverse dribbles, comes down the lane, beats the Purdue defense, and puts Wisconsin on the board.
Neither team shooting well in the second half. Both Wisconsin and Purdue have attempted 20 shots. Both have made but 6.
Boy,
that's 30% field goal shooting for both clubs.
That's the coaches just get puzzled. Both teams are shooting over 50, and they think, boy, at least one of our strong points this year is a good shooting percentage. We come into a ball game, boom, it just goes right out the window. And usually the team with the better plays toward the end of the ball game is going to pull it out.
Heineman throws it up, no good. Jones battles for it. Loose ball picked up by Troy Lewis of Purdue. Boilermakers now, let's see if they work that shot clock. They've got a 3-point lead, 4:20 left to be played. Now they're looking to go to the basket.
I think they're going to take the first good shot, especially if Mitchell or Lewis can get it. Well, you can see they're in their pattern offense a little better now. Lewis right there at the free throw line. And Mitchell's low.
Dudley swinging around to Stevens. Mitchell, free throw line, no good. And a battle for it. It'll be jump ball. It'll be Purdue's possession as Phil Robinson ruled that Heineman and Lee both had their hands on the ball when it went out. And a steal by Heineman, but it goes out of bounds.
Well, he's a hustler. You see him all over the court again. Nearly came up with that steal. It's a big possession for Purdue. If they can get to 5-point lead here, mentally it really helps them because it's been close. A 3-pointer will not give up the lead or tie the game. And then they can use that clock some more the next time down the floor.
Stevens from the corner, overshot it, and Doug Lee with good hustle gets all the way to the other side and gets in front of Danny Jones for the ball.
That's how important that scrappy player is. Heineman for the Badgers, and there you saw Doug Lee. Just when you need a big play, not a very good shot, didn't hit the rim. Lee's able to come up with it. You reset the 45-second clock and hopefully take a better shot.
And good defense by Weber and Ripley as Ripley comes up with it. Mitchell getting up slowly for Purdue, stolen by Stevens, but back to Ripley. 3-pointer in and out. Wisconsin is 0 for 7 of the 3-pointers. Good defense by Smith. He misses. And a battle for the loose ball. If we've got a jump ball, it's Wisconsin's ball, and that's exactly what we have.
Boy, you like to see that, too. Good hustle. Look at the referee. I think that's a fumble in the college football game. Neither guy wants to get the ball up, so the referee knows who's got the possession. But it is going to go to Wisconsin. Look at Hillary right there on Heineman. Purdue, or Wisconsin, has done the scrap, and they've been able to come up with extra shots.
Heineman shaken up a little bit.
Just can't get him to fall. He's really taking a beating today.
Got hit in the face earlier, incidental contact, and he had a bad knee.
They're going to give him a minute to rest. Purdue's going to call timeout.
Purdue wants a timeout. We have 3 minutes and 1 second left to be played in this Big Ten contest, with Purdue leading 47-44, which equates to Purdue scoring but 12 points in the second half, while Wisconsin has scored 16.
Now, that shooting percentage
That's
is
17 minutes of play.
Yeah, 6 out of 20 at the last break, and not much better since then. But Gene Katie called that timeout, and as I mentioned, he knows his team's not playing well. There's 3 minutes to go. He's got a 3-point lead. So now it's a game just with 3 minutes. He's got to figure out a way to spark his team to hold on to this game. He knows they're not shooting well. I would think he'll try to go inside again. And Lewis is the only guy who's really getting some hoops for him. Mitchell had another wide open shot there and missed it, although he made the previous shot. I think you're going to see him go to Lewis, but he's got to get his team. And the advantage of having an experienced team like Purdue is they've been in these situations. They may have lost some games like this, but this time around, a lot of returners. They've got to be able to figure out a way to win it. It may not be pretty, but they need to win it.
Well, one of the keys in playing so well the other night, John, for Wisconsin was that they were able to hit their outside shooting. Plus, they had 6 for 9 from the 3-point line. That opened it up in the middle. They're missing, I believe they're 0 for 7. At least 0 for 6 from the 3-point attempt. So Purdue's still able to clog the middle and say, hey, you're going to miss all day? Shoot.
Except for that Smith drive. And now at the end of the ball game is when Wisconsin can use that 3-point shot to get back into it, but they haven't been able to make them.
47-44. Purdue with the lead. Heineman closely guarded by Lees. Gets it off to Weber. Swing it out to Ripley.
They really want to go into Weber. He's being guarded by Arnold.
3-point attempt is going to come up short. And the lead pass, a beautiful lead to Lewis, and he misses, but he's fouled.
Good hustle by Smith. He missed that shot.
Purdue wanting interference, but they're not going to get it.
Well, Lewis was going for a stuff shot there, but they're going to give him 2 shots.
A little tough to goaltend on a stuff.
Coach Yoder told me before the game that Stevens is a better 3-point shooter. Of course, most people are, I guess, when they're set behind the line, the pass comes to him as opposed to shooting it off the dribble. And that time Smith had to shoot off the dribble from 3 points, and he's not nearly as effective as he is from the standing jump shot position. So Lewis again, he's their money player. He and Mitchell, those are the 2 guys Purdue. Look at Lewis trying to grab that ball from the official. He wants to get up there and get these 2 free throws to give his team that 5-point lead. Boy, you like to see that in a kid.
2-shot foul with 2:39 to go. And it aches in. Meaning everybody was aching on both sides.
Well, 90% here in the Big Ten, 19-21. So that's the guy Purdue wants up there. He got two rollers there, and Purdue has not played well today, but boy, that really helps to get two points like that.
Hey, they count. That's the main thing. No matter who makes it. Ripley. Wisconsin down by 5.
Look at the battle inside here. Camera left.
Yeah, Arnold.
Wisconsin trying to go low. Look at Arnold. There's not much room inside there.
Ripley misses from the 3-point range. Now they're clogging inside, so Wisconsin taking those shots but not hitting.
Right, if you can't go inside, you got to take that outside shot. You put your best shooter in there and let him go.
You know, the other night against Illinois, Smith was 4 for 5 from 3-point range. Heineman with the steal. They've got a 3-on-1. Heineman with the finger rolls, no good. Rebound, Ripley off the glass. Ripley with his second basket.
And Wisconsin wanted to call a timeout. So Heineman fought for the ball because once Purdue gets it, they can't call a timeout. Heineman fought for the ball and then signaled timeout at the same time. And that is a heady play because he got the job done, and Wisconsin's able to talk it over.
Well, we have 1:45 left to be played in this game. It's been a dandy. Wisconsin fought back from trailing by 7 to take a 3-point lead in the first half. And then Purdue outscored the Badgers 11-2 in the final 2 minutes and 5 seconds of the first half to take a 7-point lead. Wisconsin came back to get a 1-point lead with 8 minutes to go. But since that time, Purdue has taken the lead and have hung on to it as they lead by 3 here. Well, next Wednesday on the Big Ten Television Network, we'll have 2 games for your enjoyment. Well, actually 1 in whatever your station selects. We will have the Fighting Illini hosting Iowa, or John Laskowski and myself will be at Purdue when the Golden Gophers of Clem Haskins take on the Purdue Boilermakers, and that will be Clem Haskins' first Big Ten game against his former mentor, Gene Cady, who was the head coach at Western Kentucky when Clem Haskins was an assistant there. So next Wednesday, Minnesota at Purdue or Iowa at Illinois. And then next Saturday, 1 game, Minnesota at Illinois.
And that'll be an interesting battle. But right now, still 1:45 to go. There you saw Steve Yoder. This is where the strategies start to take over. This is where it becomes a chess game. Each coach trying to figure out what the other guy's going to do and how to motivate his players to get done what they can.
Here's a long pass to Mitchell, and Weber with the foul. Well, pretty much a similar play to how Illinois beat Wisconsin the other night, except this time the man broke from in and went down low, and there you see the only thing Weber could do was go after him.
That's a big play for Purdue. Boy, Mitchell nearly bumped his head there on that backboard, going up high for that shot, but you try to pressure that inbounds pass, and you often lose track of there's nobody back, and a guy goes the length of the floor, and there it worked for Purdue.
And it is no good. Mitchell, a 75% free throw shooter in Big Ten play.
See, this is where that 3-point shot comes into play. Purdue has defensively stopped the inside game of Wisconsin. So if they want to get a 3-point play, the Badgers are going to have to hit behind that line, and they just have not shot well. But look for that. They're down 4 with 1:40. They need some points.
Heineman out to tap, back in the ball game. Ripley to Weber, looking inside. Get it inside to Danny Jones. No, tip up is good by Heineman. 50-48 with 1:22 to go.
And he really didn't have good control of that ball, but he got the ball to go.
Wisconsin in another tight ball game. 3 of the 4 they've been in the Big Ten have come right down to the final minute of play. Lee.
Run that shot clock down. It's at 20 now, but Purdue still needs to get a good shot out of this.
Almost stolen. 15 on the shot clock. 50 on the game clock. Weber sticking with him. Troy Lewis on a turnaround, got it. What a tough shot.
Off balance, you saw his feet come out from under him. That's the guy they need to go to.
Offensive foul on Heineman. He is out of the ball game. And this is the 2nd game in a row, John, that Heineman has picked up a 5th or a crucial foul in the last minute of play. Gave Illinois the opportunity to win the ball game the other night. Heineman can't believe it, but he is fouled out. What a gutsy performance by the youngster out of Connersville, Indiana.
Well, it sure was. He was just trying to create some more offense there. He knew his team was down 4. And Stevens was in good position. That's how quick Everett Stevens is. He's able to get position. You see Heineman getting a little congratulations as he comes out of the ball game.
We have a timeout by the Badgers with 36 seconds to go, trailing by 4. Purdue 52 and Wisconsin 48. I'll tell you, this Wisconsin ball club never ceases to amaze me. They are a blue-collar, hard-working team if you'll ever see it. Let's give you a background what's happened to them. They played in the finals of the Rainbow Classic against 14th-ranked Pittsburgh, got beat. They got beat by number 2 Iowa last week at Iowa after losing a 2-pointer at the buzzer at Minnesota. They got beat by 12th-ranked Illinois on a buzzer shot here on Thursday night. Now they're within 4 of Purdue, ranked 6th in the nation, and their job does not get any easier as they play 4th-ranked Indiana in their next game on the road.
Well,
so 6 of the 7 teams they've been playing in this stretch ranked anywhere from 2 to 14 in the nation.
Now the good sign though for Steve Yoder and the team is that they've been able to stay in those ball games too.
Our executive producer Bill Rapp,
who's trying to get their best ball handlers in the game, and then try at the line this time.
Fisher hasn't been at the free throw line in Big Ten action, and Arnold wants to come in. They said nope.
The ball had already been given by Phil Robinson to Fisher, so you can't make a substitution. Once the player has the ball, he should be able to come in if he makes this first one.
1-and-1 makes it a 5-point lead.
Now he's able to come in, but if Fisher had missed that, the ball would have been live, and Arnold would have still been on the sidelines.
Mentioned he hasn't shot a free throw in the Big Ten. He had not up until today. He is 3 for 3 from the line in today's game. Missed the second. Weber with it. Wisconsin down by 5. 30 seconds to go in the ball game. The three-point attempt. No. And Arnold with the rebound for the Boilermakers. And a foul on Ripley. Boy, John, that's got to be 0 for 8, 0 for 9 on the three-point attempt from the Badgers, who were so deft at that shot the other night.
Yep. And that's the only thing that really could have got him in the ball game here late. And they just couldn't capitalize on that shot. Now Lewis comes back in. Gene Katie's making the offensive, defensive substitutions right now. Mitchell will be at the line.
23 seconds to go. 9,000 plus here today watching their Badgers with another gritty performance, but it appears they will come up shy.
The thing about the Purdue team is obviously very well coached. I watched them in warm-ups, Lauren.
No question.
And they run a little layup drill, and a lot of teams kind of just come out to warm up and get sloppy. Purdue's players each came back to the 10-second line, touched the white line, and then went back into the line. So just a minor thing, but boy, they show a lot of concentration when they're out there on the floor.
11 points for Mitchell, and he just blocks a shot out of bounds. 17 seconds to go. This will be the 19th consecutive victory for the Boilermakers over the Badgers. Inbound stolen by Lewis, batted away into the hands of Lee, and a battle for the rebound. We're going to get a foul on Danny Jones, the freshman. Did not play a whole lot in the second half. Wisconsin going more with their quickness. And Yoder talking to Smith, pointing up at the clock. And for Steve Yoder and the Badgers, 14 ticks away from this game being over. Purdue will go 4-0 in the conference, 12-1 overall. They are 6-0 on the road.
And that's the key. You have to win on the road, and Gene Katie was well aware of that. The Northwestern Wisconsin road trip this week for the Boilers, and they're going to be able to come away with 2 victories. And obviously Purdue very tough at home. It's very seldom when a team's able to come into Mackey Arena and beat them. So Purdue, if they're able to have that good road record, will be right at the top of the league.
57-48. Tap for the three-point effort, no good. Purdue with the ball. They get it out to Stevens. 7 seconds left. Well, it's been the end of the first half and the ball game. That has been the difference in this ball game for Purdue and Wisconsin as the game is over, as the Purdue Boilermakers beat the Badgers of Wisconsin here in Madison. The final score, Purdue 57, Wisconsin 48. We'll be back with more comments in a moment. Back in Madison, Purdue the winner. And John, you talk about controlling a ball game in the latter minutes. Purdue outscored Wisconsin 11-2 in the final 2 minutes of the first half, and the final minute and 40 seconds of the second half they outscored them 18-2. So there's a 15-point difference just in the final 3 minutes and 45 seconds of both halves.
Right, and that's the difference of experienced team Purdue. They're able to learn from their mistakes last year and win games like this, even though they're 30 points below their season scoring average.
So only 42 points scored in the second half, but not enough for Wisconsin as Purdue wins it. And we'll be back with more right after this. Just the reverse, 0-4. We'll be taking a look at the Purdue Boilermakers on Wednesday, a doubleheader, Minnesota at Purdue or Iowa at Illinois, 7 Central, 8 Eastern time on many of these same stations. So on behalf of my partner John Laskowski, Lauren Brown from the Fieldhouse in Madison, Wisconsin, where Purdue beat the Badgers 57-48, wishing you a most pleasant good evening. Good night, everybody.
This has been Big Ten Basketball. Big Ten Basketball has been brought to you in part by Elanco